Hello and welcome back. I hope you're having a great week. In today's video, I thought I would do a bit of a spend the day with me. I've got to pop out now and run a couple of errands, so I thought I'd bring you along with me. And I've also got a small homeware sort of unboxing that I thought we'd do together when I got back. But yeah, so it might just be a very chilled sort of day today. The rains have finally cleared. We've had about a week of really strong winds and rain, which the garden has absolutely loved. But today, if I pan up, you can see we do have some blue sky, which is lovely. So before I jump in the car, I thought I would give you a little bit of an update on the wildflowers that we planted together in a few videos ago. So I wanted to do that now very quickly, but I just wanted to show you this little sort of vignette and little corner here. Isn't this just looking gorgeous? Look at how this has just bloomed with these beautiful orange flowers. And there's still so many more. And the other thing that has just bloomed are these roses. Look at these. So in this pot here, I've got these beautiful orange, and I've also got these pink ones, if I can. And we've still got some buds to come out here. So that's just looking absolutely beautiful. I can actually see this pot on this stand from my bedroom, which is just really beautiful to be able to see the orange and pink roses from there. But this is what I wanted to show you here. So these are the wildflowers that we planted together a few weeks ago. As you can see, they have absolutely loved the rain and they have all started to come up. So that's very exciting. So I'd say it's still going to be a little while before we see flowers and things, but I just thought I would show you that, if you watch that video, you'll know I just sort of chucked some seeds in there and hoped for the best. So I'm very pleased with this. So they're coming up. And look at the bees on these orange flowers. Just loving the pollen. I don't know if you can hear the hum of them. But the other flowers that we planted were these ones here. So you can see that they've started to come up as well. Probably not as much as the other side. The other side gets a little bit more sun than this spot. But yes, all right, well, without further ado, I'm going to go and jump in the car now. And the first stop is going to be the sort of little shopping village that we have not too far here, not too far away from the house. There is a new book that has been released that I'm very excited to read, and having a look online, it sort of indicates they do have it in stock at the store. So I'm just going to pop down and see if they've got the book in store. I also need to pick up some super glue because we have had a teapot casualty, and I want to have a look for some gluten, dairy and sugar-free dark chocolate chips. I have milk chocolate chips but not dark. So anyway, we're going to hop in the car now and we're going to go off and run some errands. mentioned Tewantin Village, there is a Flannery's here, which is like an organic bulk food sort of supermarket. And I'm just wondering if they've got my chocolate chips. So I'm going to have a quick look in there now. So this is the Flannery's here. So we'll just really quickly run in and see what they have. Jackpot. This is what I'm looking for right here. So at the moment I've got these milk chocolate ones, but the dark chocolate is just really lovely. So this is the Flannery's here. So it's just like an organic sort of health food supermarket. But yes, very excited that they had my chocolate chips. Now, I think Josie would say at this point, mischief managed. So we have the goods, the dark chocolate chips. I use them all the time in baking for like cookies or in scones or cakes and things like that. They're great because they're gluten, dairy and sugar free. So I'm just going to head back to the car now, and then I'm going to head over to the little shopping village there and run in and just see if they have my book in stock. Okay, I've just got to park at the Noosa Civic and I'm just going to head in now and see if my book is here and if I can get some super glue. Alrighty. Oop, there we go. So we have the super glue. So we'll head off to books now. Oop, I can see it here. This was the one that I wanted. It had some really good reviews and it just looked so cute. We might, while we're here, just have a little look-see and see if there is anything else. Alrighty, quest complete. We have managed to obtain all the items on the list, so I'm just going to head home now and we might try and unbox the little homeware package that I have. Okay, it has actually been a couple of hours since I spoke to you. I'm now home and I just had some admin work to do, so I've been doing that for a little bit. But I did say earlier in the video that I was going to open up this parcel with you, so I thought we would do that now. I'm keen to get into it myself. So let's get this open. I've got the scissors ready to go. Okay, it's all open now. I had to put the camera down to do that. I could not do it one-handed. So there's a bit of an unusual assortment of items in here. One that I'm sort of excited about is this. So I don't know what this is going to be like, but as I've just mentioned, I don't really have a proper tripod for this camera. So I've ordered this, which shall be very interesting to use. Oh gosh, fingers crossed that it's good. It'd be amazing if it worked really well. And hopefully it's straightforward to use. Okay, I might just pause this video for just a moment and see if I can unbox this and prop you up on the brand new tripod. All right, you are propped up on the new, I think it's called a selfie stick. So you are propped up on this. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a minute to work out how to sort of open up the base and how to pull it up, and it's a little bit stiff, I assume, because it's brand new. But otherwise, yes, you're all propped up on there, which is great. Very exciting. That will make filming so much easier. Anyway, so that I bought, and I also bought, what is this? Oh, I bought a print for on the wall. Oh, it's quite a nice sort of fabric. Okay, so I also bought this print for on the wall. Oh, I really like it. I'm very happy with that. It's it's almost like it's a very thick sort of, almost like a vinyl, I would say, sort of a material. But I bought this print. I think it will look beautiful once it's all framed and on the wall. So it's a wildflower field. I thought that was really stunning. So I bought that. And I also bought, so I had this idea for my sort of library study area, and I kind of wanted to restyle that space and just warm it up maybe a little bit, I guess, or soften. I suppose soften's maybe the better way to say it. Soften the space. And I thought one of the things I could do is add in some greenery, some actual live plants. And I'll take you and I'll show you elsewhere in the house. But I do like having plants in the house that are in water. I'm not explaining this very well, and I will take you out and I'll show you what I mean in a moment. But I've bought 2 of these. I'm obviously just unboxing them with you now, so I've not seen them in person. Oh, wow. That is so cute. Oh, gosh. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so I bought 2 of these, and as you can see, it's like a wooden box, but it's made to look like books. And it's got a little drawer at the bottom, which I don't necessarily need, but will come in handy, no doubt. And what I wanted to do was, in sort of my library shelves, pop these in, and then within this, put a glass vase inside these with water, and then grow a trailing plant out and down along the bookshelves. I just think it'll look really beautiful, and I think it will sort of add some warmth to the space, but also like a little bit of, you know, cottagecore whimsy, I suppose. So that's probably a little project that I'm going to work on, and when I get to do that, I will take you along and we'll do it together and you can see what I mean. But yes, I bought, that's one, and I bought a second one, because I thought I could put one on sort of each side. I'm so happy with them. That is brilliant. Oh, I hope it looks really nice once it's done. you know, when you have a vision in your mind about how something's going to look, I've got a real vision of how I sort of want it to look in this space, and so fingers crossed it's going to look like that. They've got quite a I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but they've got quite a metallic kind of finish to them as well, which is really lovely. Anyway, I'll quickly show you what I mean about the water plants in a moment, but I did want to show you, you would have seen earlier that I got this new book, this Spell Shop. I'm so excited about it. I think in the past I've definitely been more into sort of action adventure, think like Clive Cussler, those sort of books, or cozy mysteries, and I've sort of just started to get into still action adventure, a little bit of romance, and a little bit of magic. I just think that that's just, I've read a couple of books recently like that, and I thought that they were just incredible. Such a great sort of escape, and just a really enjoyable reads. When I'm reading, I do like to sort of escape reality and just be able to submerge myself into a book. And the ones I've read lately that have had like this sort of magic sort of theme to them have very much enabled that. So, you know, you disappear into this whole other world of, you know, adventure and magic and, you know, mythical creatures and all of that. And so I'm really, really excited about this. And I hope it's just amazing. But yeah, so I'll read you the back of what it says, because obviously I have not read this before. I've not read this book yet, but it says, I think it's Keelia has always had trouble dealing with people, and as a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, she hasn't had to. She and her assistant Kaz, a sentient spider plant, has spent most of the last 11 years sequestered among the Empire's precious spellbooks, protecting the magic of the city's elite. But a revolution is brewing, and when the library goes up in flames, Keela and Kaz steal whatever books they can and flee to a faraway island where she grew up. But to her dismay, in addition to a nosy and very handsome neighbour, she finds the town in disarray. The Empire has slowly been draining power from the island, and now Keela is determined to make things right. But opening up her own spell shop comes with its own risk. The consequences of magic sharing with commoners is death, and as Keelia starts to make a place for herself among the townspeople, she realises she must break down the walls she's kept so high. So I'm just reading that off the website for the author. But I'm really excited about it. I hope it's good, and fingers crossed it's good. I will let you know how I go with it and whether I enjoy it or not. But that is that, and I'll just quickly take you out now and I will show you what I'm talking about in terms of the plant. So this is what I was talking about. So you can see this plant here, and you can see it's just completely submerged in water. So originally this plant would have been in a pot with dirt, and then what I've done is actually pulled it out of the pot, washed all the dirt off of it, and then placed it in this very pretty it's like reclaimed wood, and then they've blown glassed this, I'm using it as a vase to fit into the wood shape there. And then I've just popped the plant in it, and it just grows like that. So you can see all around here, this is all that one plant, and it's so happy in that. It's also very easy to care for. I don't have to worry about watering it or anything like that. It just takes whatever water it needs. I put like a liquid fertilizer in a couple of times a year, and obviously change the water, you know, somewhat regularly, so they've got fresh water. But I have several plants like this throughout the house, so I thought doing something like this in the bookshelves, in those little boxes, and then putting a glass vase inside that box, and then having a plant sort of growing over the top and then draping down similar to how this one is, would just be beautiful and just very whimsical, and just it'll add like some life into the library sort of space. But yes, I'm very excited about that, and when I work on that project, I will bring you along with me so you can see how I do it in case you're also interested in doing it. Now, I just thought I would show you kind of my thought process with where I thought these little book boxes would end up. So you can see I've just popped one up here on the top of my sort of little library here. And then, oh, if I can reach it, what I'm thinking I will do is, you can see in here, I've just got these little glass jars. And they'll just live in here, and we'll pop some water in there, and then the plant can just sort of come and then hang over. And then the plant will sort of hang over and then sort of trail down across all the shelves. I just think that's going to look really beautiful. Anyway, that is my idea. Once I head to the garden centre and I get a plant for these boxes, I'll bring you along for that and just show you how I do it and what the process is. So it is actually the next day from the previous sort of unboxing clips you would have seen. And I just thought I'd pop this into the end of this video. It's actually time to harvest the ginger and turmeric. So it is just, they're just in here. You can see that so these two pots here, you can see that the top leaves have all died off, which just means that they're ready for harvest. So I thought I would just show you basically how I harvest them and just prep them. I have found ginger and turmeric to be the easiest thing to grow. I just pop them in these two pots and just leave them. The sprinkler system that I've got through the garden waters them, so I don't really need to worry about them too much. They take about a year, so I'm going to harvest these today. I'll leave them out to dry, and then I'll sort of take a portion of them, prep them, cut them all up, get them ready for like cooking and things like that, and then I freeze them. They last in the freezer for probably 6 months, I would say. And then I'll also leave a few of the rhizomes out, let them dry, and then I'll replant them. All right, so step one, you can now see the pots there. We've just cleared out the top layer of all like the dead leaves in that. So you can see there that it's all cleared. So the next step is going to be basically just to try and shovel the dirt around, loosen it up a little bit, and then start to pull the rhizomes out of the soil. All right, so just started to dig up, and you can see in this bucket here, that's ginger. So just pulling it directly out of the soil, and that's how they come out. And so given the density of the soil in this particular pot, I'd say we've got a fair amount of ginger in there. Okay, so the next step, once we got them out of the pots, obviously they're all covered in dirt, so we've just washed the main sort of what we could off of them now, off the rhizomes, and you can see some of them still have their roots on the actual rhizome. So we've just laid them out now, and we're just going to cut the roots off. And then we'll leave them here overnight just to dry out, and then tomorrow I'll start to sort of cut them and process them and decide which ones we'll replant for next year. But this is just the first pot that we've done. All right, it has actually been probably about a week or so since the last clips that you saw. So what you would have seen at the end there was I was kind of laying all the ginger and turmeric out and letting it dry in the sun. So I sort of did that overnight, and then I brought everything in, and I just sort of kept it in the laundry for a few days, again, just to let it dry. And then once it had all dried out, I sort of brushed as much of the dirt off as I could. So what I thought I would do to end this video is just explain to you how I sort of prep them for storage and how I plant again for next year. So this here is this is ginger. So it's a ginger rhizome. So this is what has come out of the ground. You would have seen we got 2 pots full of this. So it's going to take me probably an hour or 2 to go through and prep everything for freezing. But this is the rhizome as it comes out of the soil. I brushed off as much of the dirt as I could. From here, what I do then is I sort of cut them into little like segments, you know, wherever it kind of makes sense. And then I peel the skin off. So that's what this is. So this was a rhizome like this, and I have just cut it into little chunks, and I have peeled the skin off of it so that just little pieces of ginger. Once it's like this, I'll wash off any other sort of dirt or anything like that might be on it, like on the flesh of the ginger, and then I will sort of pat them dry, and then they'll go into a freezer bag and I will freeze them. Frozen, I add these to like my morning smoothies. You can cook with them, you know, anything where you need ginger. They store really well in the freezer, and I think I said earlier, you get about 6 months from them being in the freezer. So that's basically what I do. So from this, it gets cut up, skin is peeled off into little cubes like this, and then it's frozen, and then I will use it over the next 6 months in smoothies, cookings, etc. So that's the ginger. This is turmeric. So this is a turmeric rhizome, and I do the exact same thing with turmeric as I do with ginger. So this is actually quite a small piece of turmeric. We've got much larger pieces in the laundry to be prepped. But, you know, you'd sort of cut, so if I can show you, these sort of just come straight off, and then I would cut it and then peel it off, rinse it off, and then freeze it along with the ginger. And then again, similar, they go in freezer bags for about 6 months, and I can put the fresh sort of, or the frozen turmeric and the frozen ginger in smoothies, cooking, etc, etc. Now, I mentioned earlier that I actually will replant a small portion of this ginger and turmeric back in the ground so that I can harvest again next year. So as you would have seen, we got quite an amount of ginger and turmeric. I'm not going to eat all of that in 6 months. So what I do is I find this is quite a nice piece of ginger. There'll be some that are a little bit, they're a little bit sort of, they're going to be difficult to cut up, I suppose. You know, they'll be quite curled or things like that. And those ones, I check them to see if they have, I think that they're called like little knots or growth points, I think is maybe the better way to call them. So this is one such here. I'll bring this in. So this was a bigger piece of ginger that was actually quite curled, that was going to be difficult to sort of cut. So what I have done is cut it into little sections. So you'll see on this one here, see this little bit here? It's almost like a little, I think the other word for it might be an eye, but this is a growth point. So I've sort of just cut a piece of ginger that has a little growth point on it. So you can see there's that one there. This one here has 2 growth points on it. So there's this one here and that one there. I've got a little one here. I've got this one here with a growth point. You get the gist. And I will let these pieces dry now for probably another week so that the sort of exposed flesh here dries out a bit before I put it back in the soil. And then I will literally just put them back in the soil like this. They go back into those pots, and I don't really do too much else with them. And then within a year, we will have another full harvest like we've just done. So that's with the ginger. Similar with the turmeric here, I will plant, so like, I'll just take that one off. You can see this one here. Can you see these little growth points here? So like that one there, once that end has sort of dried out a little bit and calcified, that one can actually just get planted back in the soil, and that will do new shoots and create more rhizomes for next year's harvest. But yes, so I'm going to get busy now and start cutting everything up, selecting the ones that I'm going to replant, and then just freezing everything. So I hope you have enjoyed this video for this week. It was a bit of a eclectic assortment there. We ran some errands, did a little bit of unboxing, we've harvested the ginger and turmeric, and now we're getting ready to prep it for freezing. But yeah, so if you have enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, etc. And I hope you have a really great rest of your week, and I will see you next week for another video.